Hi Pankhurst class, this is your Thursday maths lesson and hopefully our last maths lesson learning from home, we hope. Now the date today is a very important date. It is the 4th of March and that is a very special date. The reason is, it's my birthday today. I'm very old. So we won't do any maths with regards to how old I am today, but it is my birthday today. And a birthday in lockdown is not very exciting, as I'm sure a lot of you have had your birthdays in lockdown. I know it's a few children in my class's birthday coming up in the next week or so, because I've spoken to them about it in school. So let's have a look at what we're doing. Today we're looking and focusing on finding a third. Now I know you've had a look at fractions this week, and we're going to be focusing on a third and recapping what we already know about it. And then in tomorrow's live session, the main focus of it is to discuss how you're feeling about coming back, but also if you do have any maths or English questions at all about anything that's happened this week, we can go over some of those today as well, tomorrow in the live as well. So finding a third. First thing I want you to do on your whiteboard or a piece of paper, I'd like you to write down what a third looks like as a fraction. First job. Okay, so hopefully you have written a 1 at the top and a 3 at the bottom. That is a third. I'd now like you to label what the top number is called and what the bottom number is called. If you spell it wrong, don't worry. Okay, hopefully you've labelled the top number as the numerator, beginning with a N sound, and the bottom number as the denominator. Okay, let's carry on. So today we're going to be recapping our learning from year 2, so that we're able to find a third of a quantity. Now I had a chat with the children who were in school recently about what quantity means, and a quantity means an amount. It's an amount of things. So we're finding a third of an amount. They're going to use your knowledge of division to explore finding a third with concrete resources and pictorial representation. The concrete resources are things like counters or beads or anything you've got to help you use things. It could be pens and pencils that can also help you, and pictorial representations, and we're going to draw things to help us. So we're going to be using division today to help. I'd like you to pause the video and I'd like you to write down any words you can think of that also mean division. If you're dividing something, what are you doing? The sign, if this helps you at all, for division is this one. I'd like you to think of what another word for division is. Okay, put that in with your work. An example would be sharing. If you're sharing something, you're dividing it, you're splitting it up. Okay, let's carry on. We've got starter first. So you have got 4 questions. I'm going to read them to you and I'll give you a little bit of hint if you need any help with it. I'd like you to work through the 4 questions on your whiteboard or on a piece of paper for me. Then I'll go over the answers with you. So pause the video now if you don't want any help, or carry on listening. I'm going to go through each question with you. Question 1, it says order the numbers from smallest to greatest. Greatest is another word for largest. So looking at these 4 numbers, 250, 52, 520 and 25, I'd like you to write them in order from the smallest number to the greatest number. Make sure you put a comma in between them so it's nice and easy to see. Question 2, what is 10 more than 261? 10 more. So if I were you, I'd write 261 as a number, and you're having 10 more. So think which column is going to change and use that to help you. 261. Question 3, what number is the arrow pointing to? So you can see carefully here, we've got 50 there. There's a line, and 150, there's another line, 250, 350, 450. Try and work out what this one is going to be. And the last question is, how many minutes are in an hour? Okay, let's go over the answers. So hopefully, for the first question, you have written them in size order from smallest to greatest. So it's 25, 52, 250, 520. So you can give yourself a tick if you got that right. Question 2, 10 more than 261. You write 261, it looks like this. And if we're adding a 10 This column, the tens column, is the one that's going to change. So it becomes 271. Question 3. What number is the arrow pointing to? It is 550. It's got 50, 150, 250, 350, 450, 550. So the gaps in between here is going up in 50s. So that would be 100. That would be 200. That would be 300. So each jump between the lines, that's adding a 50. That's adding another 50. And that's adding another 50, etc., etc. So that would be 550. And the last one, there are 60 minutes in an hour. Well done if you got those ones right. Give them a tick if you did. And let's move on to the next part of our lesson. Use the counters to make 3 equal groups. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 counters. And we need to make 3 equal groups. Now I can do that by drawing a line down the middle. So I'm going to draw a line here, and I'm going to draw a line here. And I can see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 3 equal groups. Now I did that because I could see that they were going to be 3 equal groups. Some people can't see that so easily. What you could do if you couldn't do that, is you can always move your counters. So I could always move them into 3 equal groups. So I could say 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. So now I've got 4 in each group, which is the same answer that I just had. But sometimes it's easier to move things. If you need to do that in today's lesson, it's absolutely fine. You can get some pens, pencils, beads, counters, anything you've got to help you. Absolutely fine. You can use whatever it is around the house to help you with your dividing. So I'm now going to move all of those back, just so they're not in the way. So we split them, didn't we? So we had 4 in each group. So looking at my sentence at the bottom now, it says there are something counters altogether. There are 12. We counted those at the beginning. There are 12 counters altogether. 1/3 of 12 is, that means how many was in one group when I split it into 3 groups? 1/3 of 12 is 4. So I can write it as 1/3 of 12 is 4. 1/3 is just telling me to split it into 3 equal groups, so 3 at the bottom. If there was a 5 at the bottom, I have to split it into 5 equal groups, which doesn't work with 12. It would work with 2, it would work with 4 at the bottom, it would work with a 6 at the bottom, and a 3 at the bottom, but it wouldn't work with 5. Okay, let's have a look at another practice one. Rosie is organising her teddy bears. She donates 1/3 of them to charity. Remember, 1/3 looks like this. How many bears does she have left? Let's see how many she's got to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She's got 9 bears to start with. She donates 1/3 of them. So we need to split it up again into 3 equal groups. Now, like I've said, if you need to pause the video, get 9 objects and share them into 3 equal groups, it's absolutely fine. Or if you can see on the screen that you can just split them into 3, that's absolutely fine as well. So you could do it that way, 1, 2, 3, or you can do it the other way, 1, 2, 3. However you find it easiest. So split them into 3 equal groups. She's donated 1/3 of them to charity. So that means one whole section is gone to charity. How many does she have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She has 6 left. Okay, let's keep going. Can you work these out? So we've now got it written as numbers. So we've got 1/3 of 9, 1/3 of 15, 1/3 of 3, 1/3 of 12, 1/3 of 18, and 1/3 of 24. Now I'm going to do the first one for you, and then I'm going to see if you can try and do this yourself. So 1/3 of 9. So I've got 9. I need to split 9 into 3 equal groups. So I'm going to do it as a little You can draw lines or you can draw crosses. I'm going to draw lines. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I need to see how many have I got in one box. That's 1/3 of 9. I've got 3 in one box, so my answer would be 3. So I'd like you to try and work through these ones. You can use the same methods. You can draw the boxes on your piece of paper on your whiteboard. You'd have 3 boxes. You can write the number at the top that you're doing. So the next one would be 15 and then 3. And I want you to share it out and I want you to work out how many's in one of the boxes. That would be your answer. So pause the video and I'd like you to work through those ones for me, please. Okay, I'm going to do a couple just to help you, and then I'm going to show you the answers for all of them. So let's have a look at the next one. 1/3 of 15. So I put 15 here. Hopefully you've done this already. Sharing 15 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can do it as a tally or you can do another line. I'm going to do it as a tally. 13, 14, 15. Now I can see that I can count my lines. I've got 5 there. So 1/3 of 15 is 5. So well done if you got that one right. You can give yourself a tick. The next one is 1. Give yourself a tick if you got that one right. The next one is 4. Oh, have you done the next one? Let's try the next one together just to make sure that you're getting the last 2 right, because the last 2 are a little bit tricky just because they've got larger numbers. So 18 is going to go here. Split 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I've got 6 in one box. It's going to be 6. And the last one is 24. I wonder if you could work that one out. I'm going to tell you the answer, but please don't copy what I've done. Just make sure you're getting these right. So you can give these a tick if you got these ones right. And the last one, the answer is 8. So well done if you got that right. If you got any of those wrong, I'd like you to stop. And I'd like you to go and check again where you've gone wrong. You should be just splitting up into the 3 bars nice and carefully. Well done if you got those ones right. Let's keep going. The mathstronaut has a piece of ribbon. Here it is, it's got a long piece of green ribbon. He cuts it into 3 equal parts. So I'm going to cut it into 3 equal parts. Now, splitting might not be exactly 3 equal parts. If we had a ruler and an actual piece of ribbon with us, then we could do it that way. So I'm going to cut it about there, and I'm going to cut it about there. And those 3 are about equal parts. I've got 3 equal parts. 1/3 of the ribbon is 4 centimeters long. So 1/3, so this section, for example, that's 1 out of the 3 sections, is 4 centimeters long. Now remember, they're equal, they're meant to be 3 equal parts. How long will half the ribbon? How long will half the ribbon be? Interesting. Okay, we're going to need to work it out by working out the other 2 sections first. Now, because they're equal, can you please write down what you think the other 2 sections are going to be? It's not a trick question. This one is 4. If they're equal, they're also going to be 4. So that section there is going to be 4 centimeters, and that section there is going to be 4 centimeters. This question isn't asking me to work out a third. It's asking me to find out what a half is. Well, now I can do that because I know that this section is 4, this section is 4, and this section is 4. I need to find out what the whole ribbon length is. So I need to do 4, add 4, add 4. So pause the video and work that out for me first. Okay, hopefully you've worked out that the whole ribbon length from there all the way to there is 12 centimeters. That's how long the whole ribbon is. Okay, we need to find out what half the ribbon will be. So now I can actually rub these sections out because I don't even need those sections, and I can delete these lines, so I don't even need these lines. It's now asking me to find half. Half looks like this, so I'm going to now split my ribbon into two. It's going to say about there. Okay, now if the whole thing is 12, what's half going to be? What's half of 12? Now, a lot of you will already know this, which is fantastic. So you'll already have your answer. If you don't know it, what I'd like you to do, this number down here, the denominator tells you how many sections to split 12 into. You're going to split it into two sections. So a bit like the other one, you can draw your bars to help you if you need to. I'm going to draw 2 bars. I'm going to share 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I look at how many's in one section, and the answer is 6. So half the ribbon will be 6 centimetres. Well done if you got that right without any of my help. That was quite tricky because you had to find out a third, then all of it, then a half. So it's a little bit trickier. So here you go, it shows you how we worked it out, and we did exactly the same way. 4 centimetres, 4 centimetres, and 4 centimetres. That was 12. And then we split it into 2, and we knew that was 6 and 6. So well done if you got that one right. Okay, so now your turn. You've got to choose between activity 1, activity 2, and activity 3. Then you can challenge yourself with the challenge questions. Remember to choose an activity that is going to be a little bit tricky for you. Question 1 for activity 1 is to find a third of the ducks and complete the statement. So you've got ducks here. You need to count the ducks. You need to find a third of them. Remember, you can use objects around the house to share into 3 groups, or using the picture, you can just draw your lines to split them up. And then it says a third of 24. That's how many ducks you must have. You need to write down your answer. Question 2, find a third of the footballs and complete the statement. A third of how many there are, it doesn't tell you, equals, so you need to count them carefully. Footballs aren't in rows on this one, so you need to count it really carefully. Activity 2, use the pictures to complete the statements. A third of 12 equals, a third of something equals, a third of that many strawberries equals, a third of that many party rings or donuts equals, and a third of that many pears equals. Remember to split it into 3 groups and use objects around the house if you need to. Activity 3. The blue mathstronaut makes 33 pancakes. He wants to share them equally between 3 friends. He says each friend will get 10 pancakes because 10 is a third of 33. Is he correct? Explain your answer. The white mathstronaut makes 21 gingerbread men. She wants to share them equally between 3 friends. She says each friend will get 8 gingerbread men because 8 is a third of 21. Is she correct? Explain your answer. And then your challenge questions, you've got 4 here. So it says complete the comparison sentence to make it true. A third of something is smaller than, remember it's got the crocodile facing the 7. List the different possibilities. I want you to list all the different ones that you can think of. My total of a third of 24 is more than 3 times 3. Is Dom correct? Explain your answer. Then create your own. My total of a third of is more than something times something. I have a third of 36 pounds. I have half of 20 pounds. Who has the most? Explain how you know. And the last one here, it says Jess says to show a third, she needs to shade 3 rows. Is Jess correct? Prove it by shading it. So if you're able to draw this, you can do that perfectly. If you can print it, even better. Try and draw it carefully. You're going to shade your rows to prove your answer. Hopefully that makes sense. I'd like you to choose ones that you're going to find a little bit trickier, please. And remember to use anything you can do around the house to help you with this. Good luck for any of your work onto tapestry, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in our live session. Bye, Pankhurst class.